Hello and welcome to Praying Rooms. This is Dr. Suzanne, and today I would like to talk about the discerning mother. Why? Because us mother, we get so many messages for our children coming from the Lord, and that can occur before conception, during the pregnancy, once we have given birth, and even as the child is growing. We can continue to have messages and prompts and directions for our children. So it's very critical for us to be in tune with the Spirit of God. I wanted to take a few examples. Now, in order for you to tune in and to refine that discernment, you have to be a prayerful person, because it's during prayer that God will give you answers to questions you have about your children. And sometimes also you get answers through dreams. And I'm going to give a few examples, like I said, from the Bible and from my personal life and from the life of my patients. Every time I see a patient, I have a different message from them, because I tune in with the Spirit of God. And during the visit, I just quiet down. I hear what the Lord has to say. I address the physical issue, right? They come for a particular reason, and I'm definitely going to address it. But I never leave my patient go without a word of encouragement or a direction. Most of the time, the parents don't tell me if there is something else going on, but I always get these insights. And when I tell the parents, they're like, "Oh my God, Dr. Suzanne, thank you so much." I had so many mothers cry in the patient's room because I just hit the nail on something they didn't know how to manage. Anyway, let's go into that and see how, as a mother, you can refine your gift of discernment. All right. So the first example I would like to take is the example of Jochebed. Jochebed was the mother of Moses, and Moses was born in a time of great stress for the Israelites, because there was an order to kill all the baby boys. Jochebed had Moses, and she looked at her child, and she perceived that he was a goodly child. Goodly encompass many things. To me, it means that she saw a bright future in this child. And as a mother, you should be able to look at your children and identify the one that carries the scepter, the crown. Sometimes all your children will carry scepters and crown. And you also have now to determine what area of influence they're going to have. And as you determine that, you help them blossom in that area. So Jochebed determined that her son was a goodly child, and she kept him. She hid him for 3 months. When she couldn't hide him anymore, she then decided to put him in a basket and let him roll to the river Nile, and the daughter of Pharaoh picked him up. That's how, with her discernment, she determined that this son had to live. And sure enough, he was destined to be the deliverer of the Israelites. The second example is Rebecca. Rebecca was the wife of Isaac. And when she conceived, after her husband prayed for her, she just felt that there was too much movement in her abdomen. And remember, at that time, they didn't have sonograms to see, whatever, if you had twins or triplets or a single child. But she went to inquire of the Lord. She went into prayer, and the Lord told her, there are 2 nations in your womb, but the older child will serve the younger one. And that's how, when Isaac was getting ready to bless Esau, she swapped it, because she had a secret information. But then you notice that in the line, it was the same pattern. When Judah had Tamar get pregnant of him, she was his daughter-in-law, she had twins. But it's the second one that was chosen to be part of the line that brought forth Jesus. We also see that with the children of Joseph. When his father was getting ready to bless them, he switched between the younger and the older brother. Okay, so it became a pattern in that bloodline that started with Rebecca. Another mother that had a divine prompt, was Hannah. When Hannah was praying for a child, she was praying and praying and praying. At some point, she had a divine prompting where she thought, look, if I had this child and I give it to the Lord to be a priest, because what I'm observing here, the children of Eli the priest are not acting properly. Maybe if I bring my child and I help him understand that he has to be a righteous priest, God will answer my prayer. Sure enough, God gave her Samuel, and she gave Samuel back to the Lord, and he became a great, great, great prophet. So that's in the Bible, the way some mothers had the gift of discernment. In your real life, you need to understand that you have to go to the Lord for anything concerning your children. My children, for example, the schools they go to, I always inquire. It doesn't matter the opportunities. It doesn't matter the GPAs or the credentials or whatever. I always go to the Lord. And he gives me clear, crisp dreams and directions about where they should go. I remember one of my daughters had only one college looking at her, only one school. And I went in prayer and I was like, Father, what are we going to do? I don't really like that area, but she doesn't have any further offers. And I went into prayer. I had a crisp insight from the Lord telling me that he was going to open a door for Harvard, but there's going to be a limited time. I told her, and she did. Within 48 hours, one of the people reached out to her and they said, we already closed our recruiting time, but we looked at your credentials. We don't know if it's going to work. Give us until Friday, they said give us until Friday. So it was around 4 to 5 days from the time we reached out to them. Then on that Friday, they booked a call with the parents. And the guy was talking to us and our daughter. And he was like, well, we already closed our recruiting season. But I don't know, this weekend, he tells us about that weekend, right? He says this weekend we have some parents we already recruited who are coming to visit the campus. If you want, you can come. Immediately, I said, sure, we're coming. We went there, visited. I was in prayer the whole time. And sure enough, we came back from that weekend and she got the offer to enter the school. And that was the tiny window the Lord had given to us. So you have to be very discerning, very careful. And I can tell you that it's already happened to us 3 times with 3 different children. I go into prayer and I inquire of the Lord, and he tells me exactly which school the child is supposed to go to. So it's not just that. I mean, for almost everything. I remember when one of my daughters was still in high school, I had this prompt and a name of a guy I don't know what she was doing with him, but we had a rule in our house: no boyfriend, no girlfriend. So I woke up one morning and I asked her, okay, who is this guy? I gave her the name. She looked at me and she was like, oh, mommy, I don't even know him like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I think he's just, I don't know him that well. And we brushed it, but I told her, I don't want anything between you and this guy. Okay, I don't know if you know him, I don't know if he's going to contact you, I don't know what's going on, but you need to stop that immediately. And she brushed it, right, as if, oh, there's not even anything happening. And just this year, so this is like 5 years later, she tells me, mommy, do you remember when you came one time and told me about this guy? I was like, yeah. She was like, I was so scared because I didn't know how you discovered that this guy was talking to me and how you even got the name. She says from that time, she decided she don't even want any guy to talk to her. Like, just leave me alone, because my mom, she has eyes everywhere. I used to tell them that when they were younger, they were always asking me, mommy, how do you know? I was like, well, I have eyes behind my head, I have eyes on my ears, and I can see you all around 360 degrees. And they believed me. Oh my God. So growing up, when they were much younger, they were very careful not to do whatever they were not supposed to do. It was very funny. Anyways, so the one way I do that is through prayers. Seriously, nothing else. For example, also with my patients, I also have this gift. I believe it's a gift to determine in a household the child who carries crowns and scepters. I have this one patient, and I've always known that he was going to be the light for his family. I've seen him from the time he was a little child, and he gets to high school. He got a brain tumor. When he got a brain tumor, the family was so worried, right? I diagnosed him actually. And when I called him to give the diagnosis and refer him to oncology, I made sure to get to talk with him and tell him how bright he was, how he was going to survive. Just trust in the Lord. He was going to beat the cancer, do well, because God had chosen him to be the light in his family. Just encouraging him. I always do that for my patients, especially when they have chronic diseases, and they always do well. So he beat the cancer, and he's now in college, and he's the first of his family, both on mother and father side, to even go to college. Do you know what it means? It means he was being attacked. But if he doesn't have a voice that speaks to him and encourages him, he's going to get discouraged and just let go of everything. I have another mother who was usually telling me, well, I don't know, I usually wake up at night, I don't know what to do, I just toss and turn. I said, no. When you wake up at night, you need to pray. Actually, you need to wake up at night to pray. And sure enough, after a few years, I diagnosed her son with diabetes. That mother prayed that diabetes out of her son's bloodstream. I'm telling you the real truth. I referred him to the Children's Hospital Immunology Center. Within 6 months, through prayers and adjusting his diet, the diabetes was out of this child. So, mothers have power in prayer. We have to decree and declare. Whatever you declare, whatever you decree shall be established unto you. As a mother, you have been placed in the lives of these children to give them directions. You must pray. I have some other patients. I have some moms who really don't get it. They don't understand. And I see unfolding before my eyes how their children are being failures. Why? Because they don't listen to what I ask them to do, but they go home and do the contrary of what I ask them to do. If, for example, I tell a mom, this is what you need to do with your child, I always give them directions. I mentor them. I say, okay, have them go to this school, And I can actually even help you, whatever. I can help you with the application. I can help you with maybe the scholarship. I can help you talking to someone. I can help you this and that. In the exam room, she said yes. When she gets home, she tells the children, no, we're actually not going to do what Dr. Suzanne said. We're going to do something else. And right before my eyes, after maybe a year or two, when the child doesn't succeed the way it was expected, I asked her, but what happened? Oh, mommy said. I'm like, Lord, what is going on? And she did that for 4 of her children right before my eyes. So sometimes you have mothers who don't listen. They are not discerning. They don't pray. And they miss so many blessings for their children. But look, there's nothing I can do. I can only suggest and move on. But you listening to this video, as a mother, I encourage you to rise up before you even conceive, because even before you conceive, God will begin to tell you what type of child you will get in your womb if you ask him. He will tell you the line of the tribe of the child who is coming to you. He will tell you the scepter and the crown that child will carry. So you begin to contend in prayer before conception. And when that child is born, you already know there's going to be fight for his head because he's a child of destiny. You continue the prayer. You continue to inquire. You continue to put your foot down. You continue to beg God to help you. Help this child with his destiny or her destiny. All right? Well, thank you so much. Remember, your womb is an altar. And the spirit on that altar is the spirit of life, the Holy Spirit. Always pray. Always lift up your children in prayer. Always be vigilant. Pay attention to the divine promptings. It can happen in conversations, when you read your Bible, when you're sleeping, God will give you dreams, or the child will say something. Be vigilant. And if you want to purchase my book, it's Raising 8 Children, a Pediatrician's Insight. It's available on Amazon. I have it in English, in French, and I'm working on the Spanish version because I have a lot of patients who speak Spanish, and I see how to expand to other languages. But thank you so much for listening. This was Dr. Suzanne, and we talk later. Bye.